James waits for Santa Claus. The winter night wrapped the town in silence, broken only by the soft crunch of snow under the boots of the last neighbors hurrying home. Inside James's house, the warmth glowed like a lantern, spreading golden light across the frosted windows. The living room smelled of cinnamon and pine, and the Christmas tree sparkled proudly in the corner, its ornaments glittering like captured stars. Upstairs, James sat on his bed with Mr. Cotton, his stuffed bunny, clutched tightly in his arms. His eyes were wide, full of wonder and nervous energy. Tomorrow was Christmas Day. Tonight, Santa was supposed to come. The house was quiet, but James's thoughts were loud. "What if Santa forgets me?" he whispered to Mr. Cotton. "What if he doesn't know I've been good all year? Or what if I fall asleep and miss him?" He sighed and pulled the blanket tighter around his shoulders. The moonlight spilled through the curtains, painting silver lines on the floor. Outside, snowflakes swirled gently like tiny dancers. Somewhere far off, a church bell chimed, slow and steady, as though reminding him that midnight was near. Just then, his mom pushed the door open and peeked in. "Still awake, sweetheart?" she asked softly. James nodded, his small face lit with both excitement and worry. "I'm trying to stay up. I don't want to miss Santa." Mom smiled and walked to her bed, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead. "It's normal to feel excited. Everyone does on Christmas Eve. But you know what Santa always says, right? He only comes when children are sound asleep." James frowned, hugging Mr. Cotton tighter. "But what if he doesn't know I want to see him?" Just for 1 second, his mom kissed his cheek. "Santa always knows. He has magic in his heart, James. Even if you're dreaming, he knows exactly what you wish for." That thought settled in James's chest like a warm cup of cocoa. Maybe it was true. Maybe dreams were the bridge between him and Santa. Downstairs, the smell of freshly baked cookies drifted up the staircase. Dad's voice hummed softly, carrying the tune of Silent Night. James heard the clink of a glass as he poured milk into Santa's cup. "Do you want to come downstairs for a moment?" Mom asked. "You can help us leave the treats." James's eyes sparkled. "Yes, please." Wrapped in his fuzzy slippers and a red robe, he padded down the stairs. The living room glowed brighter now, with the fireplace crackling and the trees' fairy lights twinkling like fireflies. On the small wooden table by the hearth, a plate of cookies waited, golden and round, with little sprinkles on top. "Here," Dad said, handing him a pen and a card. "You can write Santa a note." James bent over the table, tongue poking out as he carefully wrote in his best handwriting, "Dear Santa, thank you for coming. Please give Mr. Cotton a hug too. Love, James." He placed the card next to the cookies and milk. His dad slipped an arm around his shoulder and whispered, "He's going to love that." For a while they all sat by the fire, watching the flames dance. The clock ticked quietly, and outside, the snow continued to fall. James leaned against his mom, eyelids heavy, but his heart still racing with excitement. When it was finally time for bed, Mom and Dad tucked him in tightly. "Try to rest, my love," Mom said, smoothing the blanket. "Sleep well, champ," Dad added, giving him a wink. The door closed softly. Silence settled. James lay wide-eyed, staring at the ceiling. "What if I never fall asleep?" he whispered to Mr. Cotton. "What if Santa skips our house because I'm awake?" But slowly, the warmth of the blankets and the rhythm of the wind outside pulled him into a dream. In his dream, James was suddenly standing outside under a sky bursting with stars. Snow glittered like diamonds, and the world was quiet, as though it was holding its breath. Then he heard it, the faint jingling of bells. At first soft, then louder. A shadow moved across the moon, and he gasped. A sleigh, red and golden, soared across the sky, pulled by 8 reindeer with antlers shining like silver branches. And there, holding the reins, was Santa Claus himself. His red suit glowed against the night, his laugh rolling through the air like thunder wrapped in joy. "Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!" he called, his voice booming yet gentle. The sleigh landed softly on his snowy rooftop. James's heart nearly burst with excitement. He rushed to the chimney just in time to see Santa step inside, carrying a sack bigger than he was. His boots left snowy prints on the rug, and his eyes twinkled as he placed gifts carefully under the tree. Then he looked up, straight at him. "James," Santa said warmly, "I see you've been waiting for me." He nodded, his voice caught in his throat. I wanted to say hello." Santa chuckled and knelt beside him. "And I wanted to tell you this. You've been brave and kind this year." "That's the greatest gift of all." James's cheeks flushed pink. He hugged Mr. Cotton close. "Will you come back next year, too?" Santa winked. "As long as you keep believing in magic, I'll always find you." With that, he placed a hand on James's shoulder, and the world around him sparkled like stardust. When James opened his eyes again, the silver moonlight had turned into golden morning light. The house was alive with the smell of hot cocoa and the faint sound of carols playing on the radio. He sat up quickly. His stocking, the one that had been empty last night, now bulged with gifts, candy canes poking out from the top. His heart leapt. He ran downstairs, Mr. Cotton bouncing in his arms. The living room was transformed. Beneath the tree, packages wrapped in shimmering paper and tied with ribbons waited, each one glowing in the morning sun. His note to Santa was gone, but in its place, on the plate, was a single cookie with one bite missing. His dad laughed when he saw his face. "Looks like Santa enjoyed your treats." Mom opened her arms wide, and James rushed into them. "He came!" He really came. They sat together by the tree, unwrapping gifts slowly, savoring every surprise. But James knew the most important gift wasn't in the boxes. It was in the sparkle of the morning, the laughter of his parents, and the warmth in his heart. When breakfast was ready, pancakes shaped like Christmas trees, with powdered sugar for snow, James told them all about his dream, about the sleigh, the reindeer, and Santa's words. Mom smiled softly. "Sometimes dreams carry more truth than we think." Dad ruffled his hair. "Sounds like Santa knows you better than anyone." Later, after all the wrapping paper was cleared and the gifts arranged neatly, James curled on the couch with his bunny. Snow still fell outside, gentle and steady, as if the world itself wanted to stay wrapped in magic. Before his eyes closed again for an afternoon nap, he whispered, "Today, I believe in magic." And deep in his heart, he knew Santa would always come, as long as he kept that belief alive.
Parents, imagine your child's joy when they hear their name in a bedtime story made just for them. Tap subscribe so you never miss a new magical story. Then click the link in the description to